Welcome to the Salt Circle Podcast. My name is Hank. With me, as always, is the terror from space, Ben.
I've had worse introductions, I suppose. Man.
The scariest cat.
It's cursed. I have a cursed face. What can I say? Man, I'm stoked for this episode, Hank. I'm fucking jacked.
Yeah. So, I was like, let's do Junji Ito's Uzumaki for an episode. I want to read that. Well, that seems good.
Because the anime is coming out soonish.
Sometime.
So that kind of sparked it a little bit, no?
Totally. That was. I watched that trailer. I'm like, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
Because they're straight up copying
man.
the black and white look of the manga, and it just looked amazing.
So
and also,
good.
like the soundtrack they were using for it was fucking dope. It was like it was really well done. So that got me. It's like, all right, I'm gonna read a bunch of Junji Ito, and I'd read the whole Fault in the Meager Falls story.
Who hasn't?
The holes.
My hole.
That's
So yeah, I mean, I'd also read that one, and then, I mean, I plowed through Uzumaki, and I'm like, that's some gourmet shit. Do we want to do more? And then we fucking did more, and I just kept going.
I acquiesced. I was like, what if we did like 3 other things?
Yeah, man. I feel like there's gonna be.
So we also did his adaptation of Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
We did Remina, or Hellstar Remina. I don't know why. Sometimes it's one and sometimes it's the other, but that's how it goes. And we read Junji Ito's Cat Diary, Yon Mu, the greatest thing ever written.
God, it's so fucking good. It's all so good, but it's just like a next level.
Yeah, I want to do that one last.
Yeah,
I was saving that for the end. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I mean, I think the one that does like I guess the least is Frankenstein, just because it's like, it's nothing new, but at the same time, it's really good, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Junji Ito has a style and like is really good at telling his own stories, but Frankenstein is just like a perfect adaptation of Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's just lifted.
it's just fucking immaculate, basically.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And I mean, the style fits in and everything. Like,
yeah.
It's
like
just
his
solid.
monster looks fucking amazing.
Monstrous.
True. He's not like adapting the movie in any way.
Yeah. No, it's like a really solid adaptation.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be like so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I didn't expect it to be so incredibly faithful.
Yeah.
But it became clear like immediately that that's what it was.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, in a way, like that's its own kind of greatness. Like, it didn't get fucking insane the way all the other stuff we read got.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like it's just good shit.
Yeah. So I think I was reading that like he kind of cut his teeth in writing like gag manga stuff, like more comedic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the way some of his series go, in terms of like them getting more ridiculous, it's like he gets bored, so he's just trying to keep it interesting and making it sillier and sillier.
Or more fucked up.
Yeah, just like going, above and beyond. Just it continues to escalate.
Yeah.
But like Frankenstein, that doesn't happen because it's it's just Frankenstein.
Yeah, which is,
Well, I
it's
mean,
nice.
there's escalation. I mean, our characters are like fucking chasing each other in the frozen wastelands, but
Yeah.
it's not. There's no licking involved.
Not that we know of, anyway.
Uh huh.
God.
Yeah, there's that panel of just like the monster before it's been brought to life, like just all bandaged up, lying on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Looks so good. He does such a good job of making the monsters fucking huge.
It's so big. It's so much like, I know that we're told in the novel that it's fucking big, but in my head,
Yeah, but
I still don't
I've
imagine
seen
it that way.
I've like you see all the movies and I'm like poisoned.
Yeah.
There's
Now
also a
here-
thing of like it's more believable. He's not like thick. It's just like yeah, he's got like too much limb.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
his lankiness also is I think part of it. But I that's me like thinking about the Frankenstein who is in the DC Comics universe.
Oh,
Who's just jacked.
she's she's anything like the the Beowulf of the DC Comics universe. Not
No, this one's in continuity.
yeah, but DC Comics not a great source for literary adaptations or literary
This one
characters.
I don't think DC's Frankenstein is like, well, there's probably older stuff, but like the stories I'm thinking about are just Grant Morrison stories.
Oh, they didn't have like a
Wild.
blurb about bringing the character into DC Comics and like respecting the original text.
It was not about respecting the original text.
Wow, the Beowulf
He has
comics.
a sword.
The Beowulf comics
fights-
lead with that, and they have him punch a woman like 4 panels.
Great.
Oh, yeah.
I forget who. Yeah, just like reminds me of seeing like Iliad comics or something.
Yeah, it's a delicate art form. Turns out you got to be good at horror to adapt shit. That's the correlation I'm
Turns
drawing
out
from this.
Frankenstein, good horror story.
Yeah.
Solid.
Solid and sad.
Yeah.
Dude, I was gonna you know what? I think I sent you this screenshot where it's his eyes. It's like just the panel of Frankenstein of the monster's eyes, and he's just like, I forget what the text is. It's like, so what will it be, maker? Or like what like some I leave it in your hands. I don't know. It's just such a good shot and a good line like together, and it's just drawn so fucking well, and it hit real nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we did a whole episode on Frankenstein before, so we have definitely talked a lot about that story. And so that was kind of why I was like, I'm familiar with this. Let's dig into this. This is probably good. This is probably more faithful than Osamu Tezuka's adaptation of Crime and Punishment, which is like incredibly short, hilariously compared to the book too. Like what? Let's take this immense, tragic Russian novel and make it a pretty quick gag manga.
I mean, that's probably as the author intended originally. Everybody just read it wrong.
It's like, just needs more slapstick, man.
I mean, maybe they fucked up in their English translation. For all maybe the original Russian, just gag based.
Oh, Junji Ito started drawing manga as a hobby while he was a dentist.
Fuck yeah. That explains
yeah.
all the fucked up teeth in the monster's mouth.
Yup.
No,
Good
it was a
shit.
good read.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I guess Uzumaki.
Sure, that's what brought me to the dance.
Yeah, and it was fucking good. It was.
It's so good.
I. I mean, I looked at the. What is it? It's like. Is it 400 pages? Does it get that high? I don't know. I looked and I'm like, ugh, that's kind of a lot of pages. I don't know.
No, it's in the
I
600s.
think I got like okay, 600. I mean, fuck. Yeah, it felt like 20. I I started reading and I was on I like looked I'm like, okay, I'm on like, page 7. And I looked again, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm on like page 500. Just fucking sat down and
Uh,
annihilated that. God. And at first I thought it was just going to be like super episodic, and then it starts connecting,
yes.
and then it starts
Uh-huh.
building, and then they literally start building, and I'm like, oh my. And it God, fucking good shit.
Yeah, the hooks are strong because they're just like at first it's just like tight, uh, speculative fiction. Here's a premise. Dude turns something in with a spiral. It's horrific. Moving on. And then like there's like a the like end narration at the end of a lot of the panels is like, and then things went back. Things were fine, but like clearly things are bad in this town. There's just
I
a
mean,
bad time.
yeah.
It's also that like we have a main character who's like watching this, but she's mostly fine
Until
and
she's
not
not.
going crazy. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously,
no, in the beginning.
but
Well, that coupled with like the I don't know, kind of the straight man. Like we get her boyfriend who's like the only one who's
well,
like, isn't this fucked up? This is all fucked up, right? It's fucked up. We should get out of
well,
here.
it's more. Yeah. And also, she's like telling him about a thing that happens. He's like, it's probably a fucking spiral, dude.
But he was, he was right.
He is correct every time, never wrong.
You ever notice how there's so many whirlpools in the little creek here for no reason? Or how the
Yeah,
fucking smoke from the crematorium spirals into the pond? Maybe we
that seems
should
bad.
leave.
Should probably leave.
I mean, the people, the people in this fucking town, because like early on, they're not
I mean, they
all
try to
affected.
leave eventually.
Okay, it's way too fucking late. I think early on
It
when he
was way
said
too
we
late.
should leave, they probably could have
Uh-huh.
left.
Probably.
Like, but their tolerance is so. If I wake up and there's I've left the window on the balcony open overnight, and I wake up and there's a dead crow in the balcony, I'm moving out of the apartment. I'm gone. That's an omen, and I'm fucking out. These people are dealing with some insane shit, and they're like, nah, it's just life, baby. Sometimes your
Yeah.
dad coils himself into a fucking spiral.
God, that drawing.
Um, so
Yeah, I mean, after the hospital incident, definitely would not stick around.
um,
No way.
do you know in this entire out of everything we read and everything I read, do you know what the only thing was to make me like kind of like freak a little?
No, I have no idea.
It was what's his name's mom cutting off her fingerprints.
Oh, because they were spirals.
Yeah. Clipping off her like the top of her skin.
That makes sense.
The reason why it made me freak is because as I was looking at that panel, I like managed to pinch myself in my chair, and it like my heart rate went to like 400. Like I pinched my finger in the exact way, and it just set off every instinct inside of me. But
That's funny.
no, that was all like, I mean, this is the shit that I mentioned to you, like the creepy pasta, like r slash no sleep, where it's like that we have our narrator, and then like shit's happening to them, and it's escalating and all that. Like it just had that perfect vibe to it.
Yeah. And like that like short story quality that he's so good at, like that arc makes them so shareable. And that's like
totally.
what's made him so popular over here is, I think, in large part to people like passing these stories around on the internet.
I mean, yeah.
And then like like it hitting some sort of like cultural osmosis, like boiling point or whatever, to like where he's just like selling the most books and getting a TV show and stuff.
I mean,
like it just built and built.
It says something,
and then kind of like it's overfilled, and it's
a,
building like Spiral. It overtook the city.
I mean, it says something that I'm pretty sure on Reddit you can say my hole and it will be taken as a reference to the Enigma whatever fault instead of being completely sexual.
Megara fault.
That's what I said. We'll fix it in post. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, we hit. I
was made just for him.
I forget what our exact arc is here. So we have in Uzumaki, we have the guy's dad going crazy, and then his mom goes crazy, and then we find out that our protagonist's dad is using the clay. Right? That's the next thing. He's using the clay to make those pots, and they turned all fucked up, and they have like this souls inside of them.
No, that's not the next thing. There's the girl with the spiral on her forehead first.
Oh, right. Man, what a reveal. That slow
scar.
build. Yeah.
Then we get the Potts story.
Scar spiral forehead was real good. In particular, when I think it's still the protagonist who catches up to her, and she's like, "Oh, something's weird with my right eye," and she turns around, her eye is just fucking getting sucked into her spiral skull.
Yeah, she's just got a giant hole in her head.
Something's
and her
wrong
eye
with my
is
eye.
like all the else. Like her skull where her brain should be is like missing.
Yeah,
open.
She's literally becoming a spiral.
Everyone becomes a spiral, dude.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
There's no escape.
Yeah. I think the point where we're like at large, I think Spiral Head probably would have, I was going to say that would like cause everybody to leave, but like how many people really witnessed it, you know?
Also, I was like, when I was like, I don't know if you can handle this, and I literally showed you that picture, I think. And you're like, yeah, that's fine.
I thought you... Why would this bother me?
That was like the second thing I showed you or something. I showed you something else.
I think you hit me with the the guy in the like wrapped up as a spiral. I thought that was the first.
Yeah, I think I did. I think I just hit you with it full out.
Yeah. And that shit doesn't bother me. I mean, especially when it's in a drawing, right?
Sure.
If they did like even the anime, probably going to be fine. If they did a live action and they really threw money at the effects, I don't know.
I mean, there's that. Yeah, that's what there is. There's a live action Uzumaki movie. I'm pretty sure.
But how much money do they show
I have no
every?
idea.
You know,
I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they did. But yeah. I mean,
But the thing for me where I was
like Uzumaki, I think was coming out in the 90s originally. Like if I had encountered it then, I would have died. I would have just dropped dead. Like this would have been way too much for me before I stopped feeling fear for pieces of media.
if I'd encountered it in the 90s, don't know. Would I be young enough that I wouldn't care about what's in front of my face, or would it give me nightmares for eternity? It's one or the no in between. It's one or the other. Like when I was 5. I think the point where I was like, how are these townspeople like not just bailing out of everything, was the slug people. I was like, you fuckers cannot deny this anymore. Like
They're snails, excuse you.
People are turning into snail people. Sorry, like
I think Slug Girl is a different Junji Ito story.
yeah, that tracks. That really.
Just a picture of a girl with her mouth open and there's a slug coming out.
Nice.
That's all that's all I've seen of that.
And then yeah.
But yeah, just the one bad thing was bad enough. Like when that guy turned into a spiral, I'm out for. But I don't know. They're teenagers. They don't have like
sense.
The ability to just easily leave home and be fine. I don't know.
Or I sunk cost fallacy, something that people tend to have with their homes, which I don't. Man, I've lived here my whole life. How could I leave? It's easy. You just
Even
go.
though my home has been destroyed.
God. Well, it's skipping ahead, but Jesus, when they have like the hurricane, right? And of course it's a spirally thing. It settles over the town. But then there's like a single line, I think, and it's like, well, hurricanes 1 through 4 or 5 or whatever, like really were kind of bad. Hurricane 6 through 10 really fucked up the town. Like just back to back hurricanes.
Yeah, we don't. They like skip a bunch of the hurricanes.
Well, I mean,
we cut to a different character like coming to town.
Yeah,
reporter.
Man,
like, yeah, that shit's just good. The escalation
and like the building, even in the first story when it's like, or the first chunks of stories when it's like still fairly episodic, and we get the little information about like those rundown ancient longhouse things, and it's like, it's relevant. It's
I
just,
mean,
they keep
as soon
coming
as
back.
they were like, yeah, these houses seem to like, oh, those houses make a spiral. There's no way those houses don't make a spiral. I immediately was on that one.
Oh, when did I like come to that conclusion? I don't think I got there. I don't think I really jumped ahead that far.
Yeah.
Or I shouldn't say that far. I was like, I was jumping ahead to like the bigger picture stuff, I guess. I was
Sure.
like I like obviously like, oh, these houses are older than they appear or something. Like they're related clearly, or not that the physical structure is older than it appears, but the purpose or whatever, the vibe.
I think at the end, there's just difference. Like these abandoned houses actually aren't even that old.
No, they're not old, but like their purpose prevents them from being spiraled out of their existence or whatever. If you're helping to form the spiral, you have spiral protection.
There's magic. They're magic. They're magic. Because I just remember like there's like tornadoes everywhere, and dude is just like standing on where he's building a new part of the house.
Yeah,
he's like saying, "Hi, yeah, everything's fine here.
Yeah,
once you come back, you can help me. You can come here."
And then what was there, like after all, because the hurricanes had all been sucked into the pond, which I like. That's what I was hyper focused on. I'm like, I want to find out what's beneath this fucking water. What is it like?
It's a spiral.
The pressure from the spoiler alert. It's a spiral.
What could it be?
What was it like? The pressure, the hurricanes, like the pressure or something from being absorbed and like concentrated, like so that's what was allowing people to like talk too loud and cause a tornado or whatever.
You know, science. People can just become tornadoes.
Look, you got to ride the tornado, baby.
I mean, you don't, because then you're gonna. I mean, it's just helping turn you into a spiral.
Tornado gang.
And they all get sucked into the lake. They can't turn around.
Man, some of that, that just reminded me of one of the stories, one of the more episodic ones where it's like the two lovers from the house, and they're like, the one guy twists a little weird and it's clearly like more than he should be able to, and then right at the end they're like, do the thing. And they just like turn into I don't like these people. I mean, obviously it's a piece of media, but when they're like wrapped up together and they're like clearly just fucking fused, and the guy's like, we'll save you, like it'll be okay, we'll get you apart. I'm like, they're fucked, dude. Come on, that's fucked. It's like when I was little, my cat got, we thought, crushed under the garage door. You don't worry about how you're gonna save him. That cat's dead. Except he wasn't. He was fine. But like in the moment, it's there's no coming back from this shit. Just
but
funny.
I mean, people screaming, whatever. That's just Junji Ito.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah.
It's important. That's part of what makes it so like memeable and shareable.
Yeah.
Immediately is like the over the top reactions to stuff.
Man.
Also, he's just like really good at drawing. Like the drawings are just really good.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Just
no.
like on normal people.
They're solid as shit.
On top of the horrific shit.
God, the horrific shit is so
like
good,
how
though.
he draws people.
Yeah. I mean, like, are we good to jump to the reveal, the end?
Sure.
Oh, I fucking loved it. It was perfect. It hits, that like Lovecraftian shit. Oh. And I love the concept of like, oh, time on the out when you get to the edge of the spiral, like time flies, and then as you move in it goes slower, so they come back and it's like, oh, you guys have been gone for years.
Yeah. Years.
But then they rolled and even like, you know, they're when they start, because they're told like, oh, someone is still making ceramics, and there's like they see the smoke, but probably as they're going there, like more, like way more time passes or something. But God, that standstill, the ending was so good. And then how did you feel? Yours had like the galaxies thing. Did you read that? Did yours have that?
The Lost chapter? Yeah, I read that.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's another
Okay.
standalone Uzumaki story.
Yeah.
It was one of the best ones. I get why it was lost or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, I didn't need it.
Yeah.
It was one
I
of
mean,
those-
it's also like that's like if that were at the beginning in like one like the fourth one or whatever, it would be fine. But it's like reading it at the end, it's like, okay, but I already saw the whole thing.
yeah. I mean that, but even in
And also like I don't know, like that dude getting sucked into space is not like the spiral holding the town together also, I guess. It doesn't thematically fit as neatly.
yeah, well,
It felt like oh, this is like a trial run for Remina. Like Remina came like was like doing this better.
well,
whatever.
isn't it like it's suggesting that, you know, it spirals like it's some sort of cosmic life form
Sure.
thing, something, which like,
I mean, whatever.
yeah, but like it's a rare, you know how much I love fucking getting those answers, and in this case I don't really want the answers, you know.
No.
For
Here's the answer. It was a spiral.
it's always a fucking spiral.
It was a good answer. God, when they start living in they've had to move into one of the old buildings, and they're like getting spiral warts on their.
Oh God, and they're like sharp. They're like poking
Yeah.
holes and shit, like wood. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they leave that one, and they're fine.
Yeah.
They
Also,
go- God, when they go to the building and the dude's like, it's full, and then they like, no, we're gonna force the door open. And then it's like
They're
it just
all-
heads everywhere,
they're
and they're
all
all like
connected.
intertwined. It's
Yeah.
like, I told you it was full.
it's full. Do you know how long it took us to wind ourselves like this? And then I love
Kinda
it.
sneaking in.
I love it when they're like, "Hey, have you seen my parents?" And like the spiral people are like, they're still just kind of people. They're just doing their shit, and he's like, "Oh no, we haven't seen them." Hey, could you get rid of this corpse? Yeah, they like died in here, and it's smelly. So like, here you go. Just like plop them out. God.
I love when they're like cutting through, and you just see like the spiral people like doing construction work.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like, the houses are just empty, and you know that like this massive people must have just, I don't know, been slurped spaghetti style down the down the pond.
People go down the hole.
Yeah, they do. God. I even, you know, like, I sometimes this was a case, you know, because there is, what is it? Isn't it like it's supposed to be like one of the rules for like writing, where if your stuff is in like first person, kind of like you're not supposed to kill your character or your narrator. So like that's sort of the shtick. Like if you go on Reddit and you're reading creepypastas or whatever, you know, the narrator always makes it out so they can come back and tell the story. That's sort of the shtick.
Sure.
But I love this ending where it's like it doesn't work out. They don't escape. They just they fucking embrace the spiral, baby. They embrace eternity. A swirly
Yep.
eternity. No, this like
Well, they gotta get to the center.
this hit
So
like
we can
every
see the center.
yeah. Well, and then the line about like the like frozen moment, like this lasting for eternity or whatever. Like
Yeah.
God, this hit so many right notes for me. It's actually insane. It just was so good to read.
Yeah. I mean, you're not alone in it
Oh yeah.
hitting right notes for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty impressed
I'm
at how he built out that world and this story,
yeah.
and how like that like pacing of little story, little story, little story, little story, little story, and always like getting crazier and building. Just like how propulsive it was as a reading experience. Like, yeah, you just blow through it. You really feel it. Like, you really feel the spiral consume you,
Hell yeah.
absorb all your thoughts. You know. I just think it's so like, oh god.
Oh no. Oh no. The spiral got Hank.
I mean, I'm just not gonna answer that.
That's the way. It's the spiral calling. Yeah. No, it's the build up is great. I mean, even more so than the other stuff we read. Like this one specifically hit more things for me. I mean,
Sure.
the cat one is I'd say it hits
You mean the greatest
like
story
it's
ever
a
told?
completely
Yeah.
different
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a
thing,
different
but
thing.
it's like it's so fucking good.
Look, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Uzumaki, it's great.
It's really
the
good.
hype was not wrong.
Yeah, no,
Like,
and I'm fucking jacked for that anime now.
yeah. God, it just looks so fucking good. Let's talk about Remina.
Remina was frustrating. It was.
Frustrating.
I liked it, but at the same time, that shit was frustrating. Not a big fan of the
frustrating.
not a big fan of the witch hunt being like the whole thing. Like the fact that they just never let up, and even more so, like just that we never really got like nobody got fucked up, you know.
I mean, everyone got fucked up.
Everyone got fucked up, but like I wanted to see specific people getting fucked up. I wanted to see all those shitty cultists like get absolutely rocked in horrifying ways. Which of course they did, but I wanted to see it. I wanted the deets. But it was
I wanted more gore. Just not enough gore for Ben.
I need more. No razor blades though. I don't want to see him get fucked up that bad. No razor blades, no fingernails. No glass on the wrist trying to get out
Too
of
much teenage girl being whipped. Not enough dudes turning into spirals.
True. Absolutely true. I guess you know what? It was probably I think what it comes down to actually is that the violence we have in this, like it's not violence caused by actual madness debatably, I guess. It's violence caused by people panicking. Are they mad because like the end of the world is happening? Yes. But we don't really see it. I don't know. To me, it wasn't portrayed as like there was a spiral in my ear. I need to take care of that. It was, oh, the world's ending. This bitch is responsible. Let's get her. I don't know. That's how I took it. I can certainly see the other side where it is like, yeah, they're being
But yeah, I know.
affected.
I mean, I get it. It didn't hit in the way that Uzumaki hits.
Yeah. Also, I don't know.
It's a big planet. It has a big eyeball.
Oh, Planet was fucking great. Don't get me wrong.
It starts to, like, sticking out its planet
Got big
tongue
ol'
and
lips.
just spinning the Earth.
Yeah, the fucking like. Wait, why are there lines in the sky? Oh, we're just fucking spinning. And then they like leap.
Everyone's just flying.
They just like all go into the air. God.
Oh yeah, like gravity's really light now. So.
And then
jump.
the dude fires the gun and like careens off, and the recoil like fucks him up. Man. No, I mean there's a lot I did like about this. And this is actually, I wouldn't be surprised looking back now. There was a creepypasta that I read. They might have not been inspired. There's the chance that they hadn't read this, but I would be surprised if that was the case. Now, having read this, because when we have the I guess Remina's dad looking at the like this, did they find was it a new planet right away? Yeah, there was like a wormhole, and they like theorized that there was a planet there, and then shit happened that they actually saw it and could confirm. Right.
Yeah, and then they're like, wait, why is it? Why it stopped?
Well, yeah, it was like orbiting super erratically, like super weirdly, and then they're like, it stopped?
Yeah.
It's moving towards us? Like it saw us? It looked at me?
Moving towards us at like faster than the speed of light.
Yeah. So in this one creepypasta I read, it was kind of like sort of a similar vibe, like like we send out messages to try to contact aliens, and we put out radio signals, like physical probes, all this shit, and eventually we get a message back, and it's from unknown someone out there who's like, you gotta stop, they'll find you. And then like we don't stop, and then suddenly like the stars start going out, and just like blackness, like shadow comes towards us, that sort of shit. But real similar vibe. So I love that.
Is it Starjaws? Does Starjaws eat the Earth?
It's not Starjaws. I think it's, I forget.
God, Starjaws is so good.
We don't in that one we didn't. I don't think we got like a physical thing. It was like a shadow horror thing. The one thing that it did that I love as a concept that I don't that Remina did not quite top. I mean, to me, in like scary horror-ish things, obviously Planet Tongue pretty hard to beat. One of the things that happened is every dead thing on Earth started screaming at once. That was like a horrifying thought. So like that was neat. But I love that we got the politicians and rich bitches going. They're like, it's a paradise. I heard it's a paradise.
We're going there. It must be great.
Oh my son's there. He talked to us.
Not his son. B, that dude is dead.
He talked to us for 10 seconds and said he was on the planet.
Son.
God.
Yeah, I don't know. It was fun.
It was good stuff.
That planet licked the Earth. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Has those big old lips.
Yeah.
I love I mean, this was one, like, I kind of wanted more. but it was also like in vain because it was a little more on the ridiculous side instead of eerie or whatever. But like the dude at the end is like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, hope for another miracle, I guess. End scene.
Yeah, because they're in a bomb shelter hurtling through space. The Earth has been destroyed.
Yeah. That was, God, it's fucking. I just like it just ends, and then you're like, okay, it's ridiculous, and then you think a little more, and you're like, that's morbid as fuck. How many kids were there? Like, oh,
yup.
yeah.
Now, blowing up the Earth, not morbid. Characters locked in a shelter with 1 year left to live. There we go.
That's morbid, dude. I mean, because it's so much more personal. I mean, all the people on Earth, they don't give a fuck. They're gone.
Uh-huh. We met most of those people. They were jackasses.
They were pricks.
they sucked.
I mean, and see, that's like, yeah, that was my main thing. Really watching like the fucking, I guess the kid, like the son of the construction people, who was like trying to force himself on her, and then he's like, she came on to me. It was her. And then they're like, you little.
And his mom is like, oh, what a harlot.
You little slut. Get out of here. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, just exhausted.
Too real.
Yeah, no, it fucking is, though. It's just, fucking spiral his ass.
I don't know. The fucking joke of when he reveals the cultist, and it was that like president for fan club dude.
Yeah.
And then like she kicks him away and like he's gone. And dude's like, who is that? And she just says, my biggest fan.
Yeah.
That was funny. Like, yes,
I mean,
okay,
yeah.
Here we go. Here's a punchline. You did it. You got there.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not as good as Uzumaki.
No,
It's still a fun time.
Oh yeah. No, it was a good read.
This is like standard has been set very high. So
definitely.
So very good manga. That's fine.
Definitely
doesn't live up to
fucking. We started with a very very high bar.
Remina was of the four things we are covering. Remina was the weakest, but it still had plenty of really good shit in it.
Oh yeah. And I mean the art and everything still on point.
Yeah.
Like it was enjoyable to look at.
Yeah, and it's burned through it.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Never. It's not like I hit a point where I was like, ugh, it's a struggle.
Yeah. Now let's talk about Junji Ito's Cat Diary, Yon Mu.
Just a fucking...
The greatest thing ever written.
Absolute goddamn treasure. Like, holy shit, it's so good.
It's like autobiographical comic about Junji Ito getting cats, and he fucking draws it like it's a horror comic. God, because he's Junji Ito.
It is like, I love the Q&A things. Like, I forget, was it the fiance at the time or his wife? It was
Fiance
wife.
when it started.
Oh, okay. I remember like the in between like the stories, there's the Q&A, and one of them was like, does your fiance get annoyed that you draw her with like ice cold dead eyes? He's like, yeah, sometimes.
She doesn't love it.
God. And him
her comment was like, she pointed out to me she's never worn striped pants like that.
yeah. God. And like the way he draws his own face, like as he tries to win the cat's love, and he just gets crazier and crazier. Oh my god.
It's so funny.
It's such a fucking perfect blend, like the horror art style combined with like the fact that the story itself is lighthearted as shit. Is so good.
It's so funny.
And it's just like
because also it's just like the way it's like Uzumaki with like you're looking at this like, oh no, is this a horror story? But it's clearly not. It's just he's just incredibly in his own head.
Yeah.
It's just very funny.
Oh, it's fucking relatable too.
It's like that. Yeah, I mean, there's those structures of just like normal human anxiety. It's like it's the stuff that like feeds into horror stories, but it's there's not actually anything horrific happening.
Yeah. But like, I mean, for anyone who's ever owned a cat, like this is some real. What was it? Where he. I think it's Mu. He's like petting. He's like, oh, he's so sweet, and then Mu bites him, and it just like the comic descends into madness immediately, like just a spiral downward.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Mew being like just incredibly like nice to everyone, but then will also just fucking bite into you when it's because like cat when it's done with you, it's just like no,
I'm out.
I'm out. But yeah, that drawing of Mew like biting into his hand, that's very good.
God.
And Yon's like skull face on his
back. The skull face, and he's like, it's cursed. And his actual face is cursed.
It's also funny, like he starts where like I'm a hamster person.
Oh yeah, like he
really
doesn't.
A dog person, but by the end of the having lived with the cats for a while, by the end of these stories, he's a cat person.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, it's just so funny.
It's so good, dude."
When he's like Jan is not a cat, and he's just imagining all the other things.
Like this, the slug and everything.
Yeah.
God.
He just thinks there's like a man sitting in the room watching TV.
Oh. I think my favorite was the cat toy thing where he's like trying to play with them and they just don't give a fuck. But then and that's the one like where he really starts drawing his face fucking crazy. Oh.
I love the bed bit.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's so jealous and he tries to he pours cat food on his bed to bring them over, and he's like, hey, I got them. And as soon as they're done eating, they go back. He's like, no.
It's oh man. That shit it's fucking relatable, dude. You just want them to love you.
Oh, the suckling though.
I
think the suckling moment when Yon finally suckles his finger, that's like the funniest thing I think to me.
It is real good.
The way he after everything we've been doing so far, this very intimate moment.
Yeah. Mine, you posted the panel with the fake poop. And he's like, this has unlocked my deep love of poop, my deep love of poop gags. Mine was translated completely different. Mine said something along the lines of it released my inner mischievous spirit or something like that. And I'm very curious to know what the fuck happened. I was looking forward to the poop gag comment. I didn't get it. What I think
I was reading the official translation, I think.
I thought I fucking was. I thought maybe like there was, if there was like an early one or something. I don't know. But I mean, still, it did not affect my enjoyment from what I know. Real glad I wasn't fucking eating when he grabbed the actual, like, the cat vomit. That's some cursed shit.
I mean, that's the cursed life of living with an animal. Also too real.
Dealing with shit and puke, sure. Grabbing that stuff barehanded because you think it's fake, that's a no.
Fair enough. Sure.
God.
Sure.
Disgusting.
God. Yon gets behind that wall.
Yeah, the plumber's house, yeah. I literally fucking experienced that in our garage.
No, it's fine. We'll just remove the wall. Hell yeah. He draws Yon's face when this happens. I like the stuff in the Q&A about him, like his wife, like telling him stuff about the cat's personality. Make sure he gets it right.
Yeah. God. Do you know I saw there's like a dog diary. Is that like the same thing but with the dog?
I have no idea.
Yeah. This was just like another level of goodness.
Yeah.
Made me very happy.
It's just like pure joy.
Yeah, dude.
Pure joy. Pure creepy faced pleasure.
Man, it was like immediate too. Like as soon it has to be like the first page maybe. Even like when his fiance turns around and her eyes are just fucking lifeless. But everything is just normal. Just right from the get-go.
Yeah. Good shit. Junji Ito. Good.
Absolutely. I mean, probably I would be shocked if we didn't, even aside from the anime and potential movie episode, I'd be shocked if we didn't have a part 2 with more comics. I mean, you ordered those two. I got thoughts.
Yeah, we're Tomy and Gyo in addition to the stuff we read.
And I would have read more too. If you would have hit me with more names, I would have just kept going.
Sure.
Just hits.
Certain point, I needed time to read this too, so
Yeah.
I was nervous I'd drop too much on myself as it was, so
yeah.
it is what it is.
I mean, I'm down for the
Luckily,
part 2 though.
That shit burns through really quickly.
Oh yeah.
They're quick reads.
God, it's so good. If anybody likes creepypasta type things or just like good gag stuff, like, do it up. Check it out. Believe the hype.
If you like cats,
if you're a cat person, if you own a cat, like cats, yeah.
I don't know. This just rules.
Oh yeah.
But I totally get not having the stomach for his horror stuff. Some of it.
As someone who doesn't have a stomach for horror stuff, I don't get it. I think that's like common though. I feel like more people are like, if it's a drawing and it's static, much easier to stomach. I think the threshold is much higher for most people.
Sure. That's not true for me, I would say.
Is it equal? Or
I think the drawing's more likely to freak me out.
really?
But that's
That's
because I
unexpected.
like know stuff about, like, when I'm watching gore stuff in a movie, I'm thinking about the production of it, like how they do the effect. I'm like, I have an extra layer of separation.
I
Whereas
guess,
like
yeah.
when I'm reading a comic, I'm more like bought in, suspension of disbelief kind of stuff, even though like it's obviously just a drawing.
Oh, okay.
But I think I'm more immersed, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, so we're like totally flipped on that then.
Yeah, sure.
Even though like yeah, I mean same shit. I know it's a movie, but like it looks so real. Meanwhile, I'm like, "Oh, it's just a fucking drawing." He didn't actually turn
Yeah.
himself into a spiral.
No, dude, he's a spiral.
No, it's just ink on a
Can't
page.
you can't put it on paper if it's not real.
He wouldn't just draw this if he hadn't experienced it.
Fucking Kilgore Trout. I can't put things in my stories that aren't real. Uh, anyway, I think that's a podcast.
Fuck yeah.
Beware of spirals.
Don't if 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 you're in a town and there's fucking spirals where spirals probably wouldn't be naturally, just bail. Don't wait for it to get weird.
Don't cut off your own fingertips.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't. Yeah.
If you see all the pregnant ladies at the hospital
Oh fuck, that's right. We didn't
murder
talk about
everyone
that
else
bit.
and drill into them and drink
Fuck,
their
we
blood.
completely skipped over that one. Yeah, that got fucked up in a hurry.
That's the most fucked up thing in that
I think so, yeah. And then the babies.
The fact that it ends with like, yeah, and they were all, and then all the pregnant ladies just went back to normal and had their babies. I don't know what happened to them after
But like,
that.
no, because we find out what happens to one of them.
Yeah, we know the babies are like have these like mushroom umbilical cords and want to be put back in the
Yeah,
womb.
we get a full-on
Like
conversation,
that conversation
where the baby is
Oh my
like, the water was heavenly. I'm like, it's. I mean that
that's cursed.
that also like, despite the fact that it's like fucking cursed, that also it didn't break the like, I don't even know the right fucking word, like ethereal like ethereal, that's what I said. Wisconsin accent.
Sorry.
You know how it is.
Sorry.
That's one of those read it more than I say it words.
Totally.
Like it didn't
Kind of hate that I felt like the need to correct you.
oh, it's
I wish I could just let it lie.
no, that's fine. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It didn't break that though. Like that conversation, because it got me. It made me think about it, right? Like it was eerie in a way that hit. Because I was like, non-existence sounds nice. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like at that point, we're talking about how the whole town is like cursed by the spiral.
Oh yeah, they're fucking gone. Well, there's like swarms of mosquitoes.
Anyone who's
and-
born here is cursed by it. Is like infected.
yeah. And the doctor does put the baby back up there.
God, no good.
Oh, it's great though. Great read. I was fully invested. Like literally, it's not there are even like Lord of the Rings, like something I really, really like. There are parts, I wouldn't call it a page turner necessarily. This was a fucking page turner. Every single page, I was like, I gotta keep going. I need to know what happens. And that was true for all of these.
It was definitely
Maybe
strong page turner vibes.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Like,
you can't just let it
they're
sit.
just incredibly compelling.
I wasn't able to finish.
The water's so good. It just goes down. So
Chef's kiss. No,
anyway, soulcirclepodcast@gmail.com. Soulcirclepod on Twitter. At anchor.fm/soulcircle. Other things, podcast sources. I'm on Twitter at Comic Panels.
I'm not on Twitter.
Yeah, don't let the spiral of social media infect you and capture your soul and crush your spirit.
All social media spirals. They both start with S.
True.